welcome to Conversations with Spirit, where mystical encounters and practical wisdom converge in absolute harmony. Each week, I ask special guests to join, and we talk about really stimulating spiritual conversations. So, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to be here. Tonight's super special guest is my dear friend and evidential psychic medium, Cheryl Murphy. Yay, Cheryl's here. Let me read your bio because you are just so amazing. Wait till you guys hear this, okay? Cheryl Murphy comes from a long line of gifted psychics and spiritual mediums going all the way back to her Cherokee great-great-grandmother. Mm-hmm. Growing up, Cheryl experienced that whenever her families gathered, all the women would join in a seance. I just think that is the coolest thing ever, right? Today, they still use their intuitive abilities to guide them in business, music, finding lost animals, and opportunities in the entertainment industry. Yeah. Cheryl has integrity and sincerity about her work, and I know that to be firsthand for sure. Her goal is to connect people with their own light and intuitive abilities. Cheryl is the founder of the Healing Prayer Circle and member of the Mind, Body, Spirit Network. So thank you for being here. I'm super excited. We've already got Jeffrey here. Yeah. Hey, Jeffrey.
Hey, Jeffrey. It is great to be here. It's great to be. Thanks for having me. It's really an honor and a privilege, Lauri, to be on your show. Yeah.
So much fun talking with you. We always end up having these amazing conversations, right? I just absolutely love it. So thanks for being here. Tonight, what I was thinking we would talk a little bit about sort of the art of listening to spirit. Okay. And I just think that is a lost art. And then I was thinking we would do a couple readings maybe later on. So stay here, friends. But I have and this might be a silly question to ask, but how is it that you would define listening to spirit?
Right. Well, great question. And I want to say that, being, setting the intention always, right? Setting the intention for the spirit world to help us in what we're trying to do, which is, offering readings or healing but being a good listener with the spirit world, it is about being present. And in short, it's about getting out of your own way, right? Getting out of your way, right? Because we're always thinking, we're in these thinking minds all day long, perhaps. And we want to get into the heart space. We want to get into the groundedness of it, into the feeling of spirit, right? Because spirit we may listen with hearing, right? We may listen with feeling, right? We may listen with, a sense or a fragrance. We could really, it's how we interpret the information.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, you know what? That's really interesting that you should say it that way, because I actually was just not too long ago in a conversation. Somebody asked me on one of the lives that I do. They asked me, how is it that I connect? And I had to think for a minute because there's so many answers to that. I mean, you can call it listening, but it's also a lot of other things. Yeah. And I think that the word listening doesn't necessarily have to do with actual hearing from your ears.
Right. You're right.
It's all of the above. It's all of the senses.
It's having the experience, it's experiencing the spirit world through our awareness of them. Yeah. And, inviting them to be with us and opening up our intuition, opening up our awareness to be able to understand that they communicate in different ways, and we pick up that information in different ways too.
Yeah. Now, I have an interesting question for you. You've had intuition and all of that since you were a child, right? So what was your first, your first thing that you noticed? Like, were you seeing stuff? Were you hearing stuff? Like, what was the first thing? And do you even remember? Because I'm sure that, you were young.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I really do feel like I have to think about that, but I would say it's probably seeing. I was
Hmm,
probably clairvoyant first. I was
really?
spirit first, and then hearing. Where my brother, who I grew up with very close, we were very close in age, he probably heard, he could hear spirit very loud.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
at
gosh.
such a young age.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
That at a young age, we had a psychic come to our house to help kinda clear the house because my brother was afraid to sleep in his bedroom, because he
Oh,
heard voices, and this is when we were very young, right? And
yeah.
my mom was a single mom, and yeah, and she invited a psychic over to our house to help us out. And it was a house that we didn't own, so we were renting, so it
Oh
may have
gosh.
had, yeah, so it may have had, you know, and it actually, Lori, now you're helping me remember, we had a spiral staircase and our bedrooms were in the attic. So think about it that way. You know
Oh
how
my
you
gosh.
take the attic and make bedrooms out of it? That
Yeah.
was this rental house because we needed like 4 bedrooms. We had a big family type of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I guess it worked. I mean, I was so
Yeah.
young. It worked because we were fine after that. Yeah.
Really? So
Yeah.
you weren't like your brother wasn't scared after that or
After that, not
yeah.
after that, but he always was very sensitive that I
Yeah.
was, learning from him. I was experiencing spirit on my own in different ways. Um, I would feel spirit, I would sense spirit more than hearing at that time. Yeah,
Mhm.
you could feel them like that warm breeze, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, that's so
yeah,
amazing. And you know what I love is that you were brought up in such a way that it was sort of normal to
mhm,
have spirit activity around and that sort of thing because
yeah,
I wasn't brought up that way at all. Like
mhm,
we didn't talk about stuff.
mhm,
I mean, if it happened in church, it was okay.
that's right.
It was okay in church, but no, not at home. you know, but yeah,
Well,
that's
that's just one of the memories I remember my going back to very young age, when you were asking,
uh-huh.
is that, and this psychic that we had help us, was, um, a healer also. So, it wasn't that we had bad spirits, it's that we had, like you said, we had activity, and you just become aware of activity. And
Yeah,
as a little kid,
yeah,
it scares you sometimes, right? Until you
yeah.
get to know, because then my brother actually grew up to be quite the healer, It's like, wow,
Oh,
what a healer. Yeah,
oh
very
wow,
good.
that is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
that is amazing.
Wow. Oh, that is such a great story. And you know what? Like we were just discussing that we've known each other a long time and I didn't know any of that.
I have never
So I just
shared that story before because you asked
oh my
such a good
gosh.
question to remind me about
Oh,
my childhood sensing and when's the first
yeah.
time. So,
Yeah. That's
see?
amazing.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Wow, that is really cool. We have so many fun people here. Oh my
I
gosh. We've got all kinds of people and we are on Instagram, which is
Yes.
quite
Good.
the thing that for me to to do. Oh, Keith is here. Keith, how you doing? You all right? Everything okay? Jessica. Hi, Jessica and Steve. Oh, it's Steve and Jocelyn, I think. Okay, and then over here we've got Joanne and
Gosh.
Kimberly and Leanne, Vanessa and Beth and Yvonne, Kristen. And so I have a question. If anybody has any questions about
Mhm,
how to listen to spirit.
mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
Now this is separate and aside from readings, right? But if you have any questions surrounding that, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to if you have any stories about your first foray into um spirit communication. I guess I'll
Yeah.
use that term. I love that. You know what? And it's so funny, Cheryl, because my whole life I had weird stuff happening. I didn't know any of this. Well, I did know that stuff existed, but I didn't know. You know what I
Mm,
mean? It's like you
mhm,
hear about it in passing, but I never thought, oh, this is me, kind of thing.
mhm,
And I didn't even know that what clairvoyance was.
mhm.
And then I thought to be a medium, you had to be clairvoyant. Well,
Right.
now I know differently, but and it's so I thought, well, I guess I'm not a medium because I didn't see right away. I would
Mhm.
just feel. But again, I call that I call that the clairs of spirit work,
Yeah.
and in my classes, I don't know about you, but like whenever you're teaching, do you talk about the using of all the senses?
All the time, all the
Yeah.
time. And I also talk about, how important it is not to, um, put pressure on ourselves too, to try to
Mm,
have all those clairs,
yeah.
we might be good in just a couple of clairs, and that's perfectly wonderful in itself.
Yeah.
Some people are just clairaudient or just clairvoyant or, just 1 or 2 or 3.
Mhm.
I mean, fortunately, I mean, I feel I have all my clairs open when I go to work. The seeing, the smelling, the tasting, the hearing, the
Yeah.
feeling, the knowing. I really do feel, because I do feel, Lori, when I work with spirits, some of them like to communicate differently too. I don't know that ahead of time until it's actually happening, but some of them blend with
Yeah.
me claircognizantly, where,
Yeah.
you're working with, where you're just knowing information, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just
Absolutely.
really pretty great. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's exciting.
It's very
You know,
exciting.
I mean, it's like, I don't know. Yes, I've been doing this for a while at this point, but it's kind of like it's still exciting to me,
It
like all of
is.
it. Like when something weird happens, I'll be like, "Oh, this is exciting."
It is.
So I wanted to share this. Let's see. Kimberly says, and when my daughter was 8, she came down the stairs crying from her
Mhm.
bedroom and told me a story about a little boy she had been speaking with since she was really little. Isn't that amazing?
Mhm.
I love that. I
Mhm.
absolutely love that. And
I
then,
love it too.
Gerlinda has a story. Let's see what this is. Yes, I have a story. My deceased dad came to me at 3:33 in the AM asking me if I was ready to ascend. Ooh, I've had all of the clairs since I was little. That's
Mhm.
exciting.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really amazing. So
Mhm.
I love it. I love it.
That is a
Um,
great.
so I saw a question up here. Wait a second. Is that I feel actually this isn't a question, but it's an interesting thing. I feel spirit, but I don't know how to communicate. I just feel
Mhm.
their presence. What
Mhm.
would you
Yeah.
say to Leanne about that?
Yeah, I love Leanne, number 1, just her energy coming through with that wonderful statement, because it's a perfect statement that you feel spirit. So, Leanne, you are communicating with spirit, clairsentiently, through the feeling and through the heart. Um, how to communicate with them is about that spiritual listening that Lori and I are mentioning. It's about being in the present moment and maybe wondering, if you had a question for them, or what would you want to know, but not to ask them directly, but to really maybe think about that through the day, and then when you do connect with spirit, seeing if that resonance or that answer doesn't come to you.
Yeah. That's so amazing. That's such a great way to
Hmm.
describe that. So, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, but
Um, so I have another weird question for you. No, just she probably tenses you guys, she probably tenses up, girl, though she's known me for a while. I have another weird question. Oh God, Lori, what are you gonna ask now?
it's it's great.
So, do you use spirit and listening to spirit in your everyday life? Like, I use the example of, do you ever ask spirit like, what should I have for lunch? Or do you
Hmm.
ever like do stuff like that? Do you
Hmm.
utilize spirit in your everyday life?
Hmm. I do utilize spirit every
Mm,
day in my life, and I do talk to my loved ones who are departed every day in my life. And I do it a lot when I'm usually out traveling, or when I'm driving, or when I'm flying, or when I'm, having to navigate myself
mhm,
through the airport, what have you. I'm always asking spirit, questions, or, observations, that type of feeling.
mm,
Around my house, maybe not so much.
mhm.
But I do, and when I'm enjoying the day, so to speak, if it's sunny and bright outside, I'll definitely connect with spirit, just because it's pure enjoyment. And I know that they would love to connect with me at that time. And also, now that you bring a good point up again, not too weird of a question, Lori. But when I do my gardening, I'm definitely connected to spirit. I mean, that's who I'm with when I'm doing my gardening. I'm connecting with the
Yeah,
plants, the
yeah.
soil, the spirit world. That's
Yeah.
That's my, go-to, I guess.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Mhm.
So is gardening like your happy place?
It is a happy place for me. I
Yeah.
love being outside and, working and, helping my rose bushes, grow and, yeah, just taking care of nature.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's so
Yeah. Yeah.
beautiful. That's so beautiful. Yeah, I
Yeah.
try to talk to spirit as much as possible. Um it's so interesting in the dynamic in my house because um my husband is not into this work at all, and that's not a bad thing. Right.
Right.
He keeps me so grounded. And
Mm,
it's so funny because I always go back to there are no accidents. I know that my husband and I have we're together for a reason, right?
right.
So I'll do all of these, like I'll do a show or I'll do a live or a dem or something, and I'll be like flying high, and I'll walk out of the room and I'll be like, oh my God, this was so great. And he'll be like, so what are we having for dinner? And I'll be like,
It's
whew,
like, "Hello?"
but I love that because if I didn't, and the reason why I'm saying that story is because if I didn't have that in
Mhm,
my life,
mhm.
I can really see where
Oh,
I would just be up here all the time and I would be only talking to spirit. I probably wouldn't have any friends, you
Lori,
know?
let me tell you, I have taken the wrong exit off the freeway coming home from demonstrations of mediumship, right? Talking
Mhm.
about, you think you're grounded, but then, I take the wrong exit. It's just so funny. It's like, it's funny. It's like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
But right, you need people around to ground you, so good for your
Yeah.
husband. It
Right?
does bring you back pretty quickly.
It does. And it's like
Yeah,
it's kinda like instantaneous, and I tease him about it, but actually and at first I was like, "Oh, come on, give me a break," you know?
yeah.
But then I'll be like, "You know what? That's
Mhm,
I personally need that."
mm,
So it's
mhm.
just so interesting how it's like, yeah, listening is sort of our conversation, but sometimes spirit knows what we want without us even knowing what we want,
Oh, that is the truth. That's the
you know?
truth. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is the truth.
Have you ever had a situation where you wanted it to go a certain way and then spirit was like, "Oh, no, 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 no."
Oh, all the time. I'm sure
Really?
it's all the time, Lori. I try to stay open, but, we have that ego or that humanness sometimes
Yeah.
that comes in where we anticipate it going
Mhm.
one way,
Yeah. Mhm.
we just excitedly anticipate it to go one way, and
Yeah.
spirit says, "No, no, no, we need to talk about this." That's happened in my readings too, where, a woman or whomever, a client wants to connect with me and really work on maybe their health, right? They want to talk about their health or they want to connect with a loved one, but spirit wants to talk about other things, about their work, for
Yeah.
example, because that is where maybe the stress is in their life or where the need is. So
Yeah.
spirit has a way, and then maybe after that information is delivered, then we move on to back to the health or the departed loved one. But
Right.
spirit gets through the messages they want to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, and they know.
They know.
They have it all planned.
They
I'm convinced that they have it everything's situated the way it's supposed to be, and we're just truly the medium, like, we're the middle guy,
yeah,
you know?
it's amazing just to share with you that I did a reading for someone recently, and it's as if, her mother was connected and departed mother was giving me information. I just like you said, I delivered it to her. And then the next sentence, deliver it, right? You're just one sentence, deliver it, I always
Mhm.
feel spirit here. So that's why you
Yeah.
feel spirit deliver the information, you deliver it. And it's just this beautiful, synchronistic, really. It's a ballet, it's a
Yeah.
dance,
It
it's
it
a
really is.
symphony. Yeah.
I had a really interesting situation the other night. I was doing a live, on Insight Timer, and, I always do because Insight Timer is its own app, I can play songs, right? So, it takes me because I'm so ridiculously particular about music, right? I sit and I really pick a song that
Mhm.
means something that's positive and uplifting, whatever. So, I was listening to this music, and all of a sudden it dawned on me I needed to play what song was it? Bon Jovi, "It's My Life." Right?
Okay.
It's my life now or never. Okay.
Yeah.
So I wasn't, yeah, I didn't know where it came from because I don't know.
Oh.
The song just came to me, right? So
Mhm.
I played the song, and and the way I do it on Insight Timer is I write down the names and stuff. And this one lady comes on, and instantly I knew I was supposed to choose her. Like I knew I was supposed to give her a reading, right? So I give her this reading and I said, "Oh my gosh." She goes, "Well, I was thinking I'd love to hear from my dad." And I was like, "Okay." So all of a sudden I'm like, "Oh my gosh. Okay. He helped me pick that song, right?
Right.
It's my life, it's now or never, whatever." And I said, and he's telling me I need to pick because I always have the cards ready, right? So I have empowerment cards. So I said, "Oh, he wants me to pick a card first." And I picked this card, and I am not lying to you. It said, "It's your life."
Oh, goodness.
Right?
That's
So I was like,
amazing.
I'm pretty sure that the message you're supposed to get right now is that
It's
it's your
amazing.
life and you need to just live it
It's
to the or whatever the rest of the
true.
message was. But if it's exactly what you're saying. Like when spirit wants to get a certain message across,
Mhm.
they're going to figure it out.
They're gonna figure it out, and you were open enough to tune into music, right? And, pick a selection and go with your intuition,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
spirit saw an opportunity to say, "Look, I
Yeah.
can use this as a message. Come on, Lori,
Yeah. I know. And it's so
John
much
Bon Jovi, please."
And right? But what's so really cool about all of that is that, when we sort of surrender
Mhm.
to whatever it's supposed to be, it always ends up working out
Yeah.
fantastically. And
Mhm.
so I want to give people that as a piece of advice. We have a question from Trish. I have been talking to spirit, but I am still struggling with understanding their message. Could there be some
Mhm.
type of block, or is this a matter of practicing more? Go ahead.
Well, probably most likely it's gotta do with practicing more. You know? And, surrendering, as you're mentioning, Lori, is really key. And I write about that, that it's really a continual surrender. It's not about surrender in the beginning and then you don't have to do it anymore during the reading. It's continually surrendering and allowing spirit to blend with you,
Yeah.
your energy to bring through a message. And that message may be an image, a feeling, a
Mhm.
fragrance. It
Mhm.
may be a word. So sometimes the messages may not be a complete sentence, so to speak. They may be a word, or it's so really it's about
Yeah.
interpreting the information. And I would just offer her to, or invite her to maybe practice a few more minutes of meditation when she does meditate.
Mm.
See if she can go a little bit deeper. Just relax into it a little bit more, and just going a little bit deeper in your meditation can help you when you're working, can help those messages come through a little bit clearer.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, talking about the surrender to whatever spirit has for you. Because the fun part about this whole thing is that we all do things differently. And
Mhm,
that's why I just love the tribe that I've like the people that the mediums and psychics that I rely on, like you're one of them,
yeah,
like I just rely
mm,
on who you are as a
mhm,
person,
mhm,
because you have the integrity, you have the heart, you have all of that. And I surrender to all of that,
yeah,
So
well,
it's
thank you.
absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
It is.
So we also have Melanie saying, we had a lot of otherworldly activity in our house when I was little, doors slamming, things swinging when there was no wind. I think my imaginary friends were spirits. Yes, I would say so.
Yes, yes, for that,
I
yes.
love that. I love that. So does anybody have any questions? Oh, this one, oh, we've got to read this one. This is pretty amazing. This is from Denise. My big sister passed away last Monday. I'm so sorry for your loss, Denise.
Sorry, Denise, yeah.
I asked her before she died, when you get there, ask Dad a question and come through and tell me the answer. I hope she does, though. Well, I hope she comes through. What would your suggestion be?
Well, Denise, I mean, goodness gosh, this just happened, and, just so much love to you and to your sister and your whole family. It's a lot to ask. I do know when your sister comes through, and she'll be coming through a lot. There won't be just one reading. She'll come through all the time, I'm sure, with your father and all your other loved ones and friends. But I would say be open to any answer, be open to anything, because it could be way more than just this information. So always know that it will come through at some time in the future, but don't just limit it to that. Like, stay open to all the other amazing possibilities, because that's how spirit works. Is I feel when spirit comes through, Lori, and you might also, they remember all the memories from the life they had with everyone, right? And they're going to talk about their memories. They're going to talk about things that we would have forgotten ourselves, right? As children, so to speak.
That's
So,
so,
yeah.
so true, and that's the fun part about it.
Mhm.
You know? I
Yeah.
mean, they know everything that's going on. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So, would we like to do a reading? What do you
I'd
think?
love to. I'd love to.
So Juliana just, just messaged and said, "Hi, ladies. Any message for me?" Any thought about that?
Is this Juliana?
Juliana. Yeah. What did I say? Did I not say
You
Juliana?
did say Juliana. I just
Oh,
needed the I always love to look at people's names.
you know what? I totally
Do you
agree. Or
love
their
that?
little
Don't
icon.
I love the name and the way
Mhm.
they spell it. I think everything has energy, so I always try to want the correct spelling, and I
Yes.
do, and the icon, everything has energy.
Yep.
Uh, right. So Juliana, when I feel your energy, and thank you for, asking the question. But I do feel there's something, like there's some hobby or interest that you haven't picked up yet. It's almost like going back to your past and picking up a hobby and starting that again in your life. For example, if you love to write, for example, in the past, I see you picking that up in the future. Does that make sense? I feel like something from your past wants to come out, like more of something that's fun for you that you love to do. It could be also around animals. And I don't know if you just recently got a new animal, Juliana, but I do feel that around you, because you're very, very heart centered, I want to say, and very, very loving. I am even want to say an empath, but that's what I have for you, Juliana. I just feel like, look, if something's scratching, or tapping you on the shoulder, getting your interest to pick that old hobby up or that old interest, uh, bring it back into the present, because there's something about that you're going to grow from.
Hmm. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
Absolutely
that will help
beautiful.
her grow.
So Juliana, I chose a card for you, and it says, let's see if I can put it there, lightning, and then it says power. Do you see where it says power?
Yes.
Um, Juliana, I feel really strongly that you are going through some stuff that is allowing you to understand who you are in the world and
Yeah.
your own personal power. And I feel like I'm supposed to tell you to grab onto that with both hands and take your power, and you know what you need to do with it. I know that sounds really strange, but that was what I was just told to say. um, you've got so much love to give the world, and you've got so much love around you.
Mhm.
And I just really feel like, Juliana, keep allowing yourself to understand the power that you actually own and use it for the good. Which I think you do, but I just was, yeah, just wanted to say it that way for whatever
I
reasons.
I I felt coming through when you were talking, Lori, like, don't hold back, Juliana, like, don't hold
Yes.
back your power, right?
Yes.
That
Yes.
is great.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Amazing. Amazing. So, okay. So what about, and I'm just going wherever spirit tells
Mhm.
me to go. What about Maria?
Maria.
Maria.
Um, Oh, there's Maria. Hi, Maria. Maria, I don't know. I tell you what I'm getting from you right away. I almost feel like more education or more certification. There's something about higher learning with you coming through, whether it's a weekend class or what have you, a certification program. But I feel like in some way you're ready to put you're ready to kind of step on your path. I do feel you becoming more intuitive in the future and you developing, whether you're studying it at your leisure, what have you. But there is something about somehow you've made a commitment to the spirit, is what I'm saying. Somehow you've said yes. And I believe just to let you know, they heard you. They are listening.
That's so funny because to piggyback on that, I'm getting, you know what? The whole surrender conversation,
Mhm.
I feel like is really relevant for you.
Mm.
Just allow it and just know that it is, this is going to put pressure on you, but this is your destiny, right? Oh, that's so exciting. And I don't mean to put pressure on you, Maria, but like just understand that this is who you're supposed to be and embrace it,
Mhm.
so surrender and allow. Oh, love that. Ooh, that's exciting.
It's very exciting.
Yeah, that's so cool. So, Cheryl, when you and you sort of answered this before, but so whenever I say to you, and I'm just trying to get a sort of an understanding as to how you work, right? So whenever you say, or whenever I say, "Oh, let's read for Maria,"
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
What is you look
Mhm. Right.
at her picture and
Mhm.
the little icon or the spelling
Yeah.
of her name or whatever, and it's
Mhm.
and what do you mostly go to first? Is it like do you just get a feeling first?
Mhm.
Is that kind of how it works for you?
Right. So when I look at Maria or the young lady we read just a moment ago, Juliana, I do look at the name and I feel or sense the energy that's resonating off of the name. Really, I'm getting energy from the name.
Mhm, mhm.
And the picture is okay, the icon, I mean, that's okay, but it's really more the name.
Hmm. Okay.
Because the picture could be of the family or an old picture or, I'm not sure where it is in time, but the name is relevant. Now, when I blend with that energy, I do get a feeling. I get a picture, and it's usually a moving picture, like a movie theater type
Yeah.
of feeling. So I do get that type of awareness. And then I may hear, but with Marie, I didn't. I didn't. I just felt and saw, right? I did the, clairsentient and the clairvoyance, yeah.
Yeah. And isn't it interesting? And tell me if this is your experience too. Um, every spirit is different. So
Mhm.
some spirits will be like, I will be able to see them. I can tell you their hair color, their height, their weight, the blah, 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 all of that stuff. And then others, I just feel. Is that kind of the way it works
Yeah,
for you?
yeah, right? I mean, it is interesting, because when we see people on Zoom or in person, on screen, on Restream, what have you, just seeing someone's energy can be the reading,
Yeah.
having them become present, and yeah, you can feel spirit in the room with them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. But what I love, Lori, is people's names, but I love their birthdays. I
Oh.
love when they ask a question. I even try to, read the energy of the question they're asking. I mean,
Mhm.
everything about them being with us today is is the reading experience. Their
Yeah. Yeah.
energy's here, already.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
great.
so we have another question. I'm gonna put it on the thing because I just learned how to put stuff on the screen.
Hey.
Ginger says, "Any messages from my younger sister or spirit guides on my
Oh,
future career change?"
oh.
Ooh,
That's great. Hi, Ginger. Hi, Ginger. Thanks for joining us. Um, for some reason, I felt your sister saying she's not alone, and that's important for you to know that your sister is not alone. And I do feel a parent over there. I do feel father over there, like I'm over there with father. So and I do feel guides and angels, and I just feel you and your sister either had this rapport or this spiritual connection where you would have spoken about guides or this type of belief system where she's like, "Oh yeah, and all my guides and angels are over there." And I really get a sense of you and your sister having a very close relationship. Like it could be strained, but that seems like some most of our relationships can be strained at times, but I feel a real ribbing going on. That's what I'm hearing, like ribbing or bantering happening. That's what I want to say. Yeah. What about you, Lori?
That's great. So in looking at what she said there, I thought, ooh, I'm supposed to pull an empowerment card, right? Because it says from my younger sister, spirit guides, or future career change. And I pulled the partnership card.
Okay.
Isn't that amazing? Oh my
Yes.
gosh. To me, that's huge, right?
Mm.
Because I feel like that future career change isn't just, at first I was like, oh, so maybe Ginger needs to like consider like a partnership with somebody or along those lines. But then I started hearing laughing. I started hearing laughing. I don't know if this is from your sister or not, because I'm not getting too much more than the laughing, but she wants to be the partner, like spirit partner.
Oh, right. The co
How fun is that? Oh my
That's
gosh,
a
right?
blast.
So I feel like that she, Ginger, I feel like that she wants to help you, right?
Mhm.
And I also feel like that there are quite a few spirit guides over there that are ready to, I feel like that once you make a decision, like I feel like there's a decision impending, is that the right word? There's a decision to be made.
Mhm.
And so I'm getting that, like, once this decision is made, that things are just going to go and they're just, so get ready. That's
That's
what I keep
great.
hearing.
That's great,
Get
Laura.
ready.
Get ready, Ginger.
Get ready, Ginger. This is it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So, okay, before we go and take another um, question or whatever, if anybody has any questions about
Oh.
listening to spirit, bring it on. Um, I wanted to ask you about what you have coming up. You have so much stuff going on. You do like every day you're doing something else, and I love that. I love seeing that. So tell us what you have coming up.
Well,
Did I
I
just
have
totally put you on the spot?
yeah. Well, I have an event coming up February 8th with Thomas John. He and I are doing an event, and it's online, and I invite everyone to join us. I mean, Thomas and I will be doing readings for 2 hours, and we'll do as many readings as we can. But you can get your tickets through my website at mediumcheryl.com, on my events pages. But Thomas and I are Thursday, February 8th. And then I'm going
Oh, that's
right
this week.
into this week, I know, and then I'm going right into the, LA Los Angeles Conscious Life Expo. So I'll be with the expo. We'll have a booth, myself and medium Kelly Eckhart. We'll be at Los Angeles. The LAX Hilton is where it's located. So for anyone that would like to come by and say hello, I'd love to see everyone. It's a great event. I mean, it's the biggest expo really in California, or one of the biggest, I'll say. So the Los Angeles Expo. Yeah.
And there's going to
Yeah.
be appearances there by
Hmm.
uh, um uh oh my gosh. In
Bashar.
yeah, the chanting. Is that
Yes.
who it is? Oh my gosh,
Yes.
that's gonna be
There's a
exciting.
lot of neat people that are going to be there.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
cool.
you and I were looking at the roster the other day, and, we were just like, "Oh, we wanna see them and them and them." There's a lot of good people there.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
gonna be fun.
yeah,
And, you do a radio show every Wednesday
I
night. I wanna make sure.
do. So tomorrow night that's tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is the radio show, and we do that every Wednesday night. It's at
Wait,
7
tomorrow's
PM.
Tuesday. It's
Oh,
Monday.
I'm sorry, it's Wednesday, sorry,
I was like,
Wednesday.
"Wait a minute." Um,
Wednesday. It's Wednesday night. Thanks, Lori. Every Wednesday we do Seeing Beyond Living Transformed. And it's at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. And we show that radio show live on Facebook and YouTube. So everyone can watch my Facebook or YouTube channels. And we're trying to go live on Instagram too. So we're under works with that as well.
what?
But this
Yeah.
Wednesday I have another guest host. So yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
I know.
So Jose has a really interesting question, and I wanted to ask you what your thought is on this.
Yeah.
You ever feel drained after doing a reading?
Mhm. You know, I feel mostly higher than a kite, I wanna say, when we finish our readings.
Mhm.
And that's a pretty good feeling, because you're high with the spirit world. I mean, you feel their love coming through for their loved ones. And I mean, there's just nothing like that. But to be part of that, or just a little bit of that messenger, is really a blessing. But yeah, I think sometimes it can drain me. I get tired not of what I do, but you can get tired, I guess, if you did a lot of them, a lot each day. You could certainly get drained. You do have to take care of yourself. You have to really take,
Mhm.
I would say, take extra special care of yourself if you're in this line of work, right? Laura, you really have to pace yourself. You have to know your own energy even more. You have
Yes.
to know what you can take and what you have to say no to. You have to know that resting and eating well is important. Water, 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 right? I'm all about water. And it is about how are you feeling? Just are you getting your things done to where you can be there to help other people, right?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
it can be draining in that way. So I always when and I guess when it does come to that point, that's when you have to say, "Whoa, slow down, take a break." Because there's nothing wrong with taking a break. There's nothing wrong with taking a few weeks off or leaving mediumship or your um, psychic abilities, your intuition. There's nothing wrong with like putting that down for a while. There's absolutely
Mhm.
nothing wrong with it. Spirit
Yeah.
is still working with you, even though they may be behind the scenes. But whenever you're ready, spirit's ready. And they would never impose on you or ask us to do anything that we weren't comfortable with or we didn't have the energy to carry.
Yeah, absolutely. That's such a beautiful answer to that question, Cheryl. That's
Would
absolutely
you
beautiful.
like that?
Do you limit how many readings you would do in a day?
I do limit my readings. And
Mhm.
when I started doing readings, I said, okay, I'm going to do 2 a day. And then that was fine. And I'm like, "Okay, well, let's go more because this is great," right? And, I've done quite a number more per day. I won't give that number out because I don't wanna set limits on
Yeah,
anyone, but I
right,
I know,
exactly, yeah.
I know. But, I'm comfortably with my lifestyle, I guess, and what works for me is to do 2 or 3 readings a day, and these are hour-long readings, so, that is quite a bit of energy coming through.
Mhm.
And then I may add another one in or take one off. Or, it's always about checking in with yourself and how you're feeling.
Yeah.
And, life happens. But yeah, I think I'm comfortable with 2 or 3. That's kind of my pace.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, I don't want to get too busy where I'm not, utilizing my other gifts of energy healing or
Mhm.
returning emails. I do have that business part of it to run.
Yeah,
But with the spirit world, they're there. If I had an emergency reading come in, that would be fine. I would be ready for it.
yeah,
But yeah, but comfortably, that seems to work for me, right?
yeah, yeah. That's
What about
beautiful.
what about you, Lori? What
Honestly, because I've had some health challenges these last several months, I it m it varies.
Yeah,
Let's just say it
it
that way.
varies.
I
Exactly. Yeah.
honestly, right now, it's getting better, but right now, 1 a day would be,
Yeah, 1 a day
like,
is
all I
good.
could do.
It's good.
But that's just right now, things
Yeah.
change, we all change, so
A lot of mediums, that I know, or other light workers, I'll just say, and other healing modalities work 4 days a week, or they work 3 days a week, because they know their energy. And really our life is always changing, as you said.
yeah.
This year, this is what I'm doing, but next year, maybe
Yeah,
something else, right?
yeah,
And
exactly,
the
exactly.
the beauty is that the spirit world knows to take care of us, right? If they feel that we need a break, that will happen as well. If they
Yeah.
feel we can be a little bit busier, that will help. Whether it's phone calls once again or scheduling events coming up, I do believe spirit's got our back on that. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Ooh, that's so beautiful. So,
yeah.
interesting question from Sherry. She says, "Do you ever wish you didn't have this gift?" That's an interesting question.
That's a good question. That'll make me cry on that question because,
Oh,
the answer is no. I always am so grateful for this gift. That's my answer, is I'm always so grateful for this gift that it just brings tear to my eyes. Not that that's a negative question, but the amazing information that we get is so heartfelt, and I do wanna say I've gotten information, ahead of time about it reminds me of my pets when they were passing away. This is what that question took me, Lori, because I knew ahead of time my pets were going to pass. They came to me, so many days ahead of time, or
Mhm.
even if they were healthy, they would come to me and energetically and just let
Yeah.
me know that it was their time. So in
Yeah.
that way, it can be a moment. I have to take a moment on that one,
Yeah.
but really, the answer to that question is, gosh, I can't wait for tomorrow. I can't
Yeah.
wait to dive in tomorrow,
Yeah.
to see how deep we can go, or what
Mhm.
spirit going to offer today, or who can I help today, right? Because
Yeah.
we're of service. We want to be we wanna be that person that, helps people open up and know that their loved ones are with them. I mean,
Yeah.
what a privilege. What a privilege.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's you have such a beautiful way
Oh,
of words.
oh, thank you.
I absolutely I could not have answered that better myself. That is so
Oh, good.
perfect, It's so funny because I'm the type of person where I love everything to be different. Like, I love today to be different than tomorrow, than the next day, and the next. I don't like doing the same thing every day. I've never been like that, right? So this world, the world of spirit work is so much fun because you never know who's going to come and visit. It's like you're meeting spirits every day.
Mhm,
You're meeting
mhm.
somebody new. It's like new friends, new spirit friends every day. So
Yeah,
I
yeah, it
absolutely
is.
I absolutely love that. So Laura May has this question, and this is kind of interesting. I have a question about communication with my mom who passed away 13 years ago. I would frequently receive messages and signals from her, but they have stopped. Why
Mhm,
would that happen?
mhm.
That's a pretty darn interesting question.
Do you wanna take that one, Lori?
I can start and then you
Okay.
can jump in. We can have a conversation about it. It's good. I personally would say is that there's nothing that you're doing wrong.
Mhm,
Okay. First of all. Okay. Um, I would say that right now, and just based on the energy that I'm feeling from you, is that it's shifting. The relationship is shifting,
mhm,
and she's not doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. Maybe just start to find a different way to communicate. You may not need the the messages as much, or they've shifted, or the messages that you need to get from your mom might be a little bit different than they were before. So things shift, and as we were just saying, our world it shifts, it changes daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, whatever. So you might not need that exactly right now, but you might need a different type of message. So,
mhm.
Cheryl,
No,
what,
thank
what do
you.
you
I
think about
liked what you said, and I loved how you said that, Lori, and I agree with everything you said, and yeah, when our loved ones, when we don't feel them around, or when they stop communicating with us in one way, then that we get stuck in that, "Oh, it has
that?
to be this way."
Yeah,
It does. It has to be, why am I not getting those pennies, or why am I not getting that? And it's not that you will never not get that sign again, but you're right. They are connecting with us in other ways. And for this person who asked that, I feel they have a new guide coming in. I just felt that. I
yeah,
believe you have a new spirit guide coming in. And I think your mom's helping with that in some way.
yeah,
So I want to say that for sure.
yeah. Laura, I hope you heard that. Okay, you might have a new guide coming in. That's exciting. That's really exciting. So, and then we have another question. Ooh, all these such fantastic questions tonight.
I know they
Are
are.
some spirits reincarnated and therefore unable to communicate with us? What do you think?
So
That's
this
kind
is,
of a difficult one to really.
yeah. So this is a very good question from, I do feel this person, Leanne. I feel the mystic when I feel Leanne. I feel, oh, I'm working with the sage here. Like I have someone, I feel like I have a sister, a spiritual sister in Leanne. I don't know. I just feel that resonance. To answer your question, and from my experience, right? We are speaking from our own experience. I believe that What was the question? Are they unable to
Are
communicate
some
with us?
spirits reincarnated or
Yes.
and therefore unable
Thank
to
you. Okay,
communicate?
got it. Well, because I'm out here somewhere sometimes. So I do feel they can communicate with us at any time, any place, anywhere.
Mhm,
I do believe if they reincarnate, there's still there's still a part of them or an aspect of them or a soul of them that is still that person to you. Like my father is still my father in spirit. Now he may reincarnate and come in this world, but I can still connect with my father on the other side as well. Because I do believe we're multidimensional beings.
mhm,
We're holographic images. Where our consciousness is so vast. We almost have to go, oh my God, would it be incredible if we really could do both? Could we really reincarnate and still communicate? Because that's really where we want to be. This is where the consciousness is going, stepping
mhm.
into this fifth dimension and the age of Aquarius. We're all heading there. So we are just going to blow our own socks off, I think, with what we're capable of doing.
Yeah. And I think that there's a lot that we don't know. Okay.
Yes.
And I think that when we eventually cross over, we're going to be like, oh, right. I think it'll make a lot of sense
Oh.
when we're crossed, but I think that there's a lot we just don't know. I
Mhm.
mean, I've been to, and I'm sure you have too, Cheryl, like to classes where there would be teachers who have been doing this their entire lives who would
Mhm.
say stuff like, and this is just, and you have to take what you believe, what resonates with you, and then throw away the rest. Okay, is what I want to say about this. But I remember this one lady, it's Mavis actually, and she said we were at this. I don't even know if were you there? You might have been there, but she went through this whole thing. She had like printouts about how the hierarchy is up there and how
Mhm.
things you can progress on the other side and all this stuff. And I was like, oh wow, that makes so much sense. But then one of the things she said is that your soul is here. And let's
Mhm.
just for right now, let's just call it a circle. So this one part of the circle will always be your father or whoever, right? And if the soul reincarnates, then that'll be another piece, and that'll be another piece, and it things. So, but I want to say everything that, and I know I just botched the way she probably said it, and I shouldn't have even have said her name,
No,
you know.
it's wonderful.
But I think that there's part of that really makes sense to me,
Mhm.
and it strikes me in my heart. So I
Mhm.
kind of believe that, but the reality is we're not going to know any of this stuff for sure until we
Mhm.
get to the other side.
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
so yeah.
Yeah, and Mavis Batilla, of course,
Her.
what a beautiful mentor for both of us,
Oh,
and, yeah, she
she
passed
was
away
amazing.
last year.
Yeah.
Um
And what's really interesting is that uh our mutual friend Ed Torres, who's going to be on the show next week, by the way, yay.
Oh, great.
Um, his sort of, or one of his, I think, mentors was Mama Ellie, and she
Oh,
was just
yes.
amazing. And as a
Gosh.
matter of fact, every time I mention her name, comes in, and she's now standing right in front of me. Oh my gosh! So her and my mother, like, there's
Wow.
a thing going on between her and my mother. But anyway, um, I don't remember what I was gonna say, but it has to do with, like, she just comes in and she's part of who we are. Like,
Mhm.
she's part of the conversation and she
Mm.
wants to be on the other side. She's helping. And I feel like that
Mm.
Mavis is doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
Mavis is like, I didn't know Mavis hardly at all,
Mm.
and she definitely didn't know me. I mean, I just knew her because I took classes, right? But
Yeah.
Mama Ellie, I got a chance just before she
Wow.
died to meet her, and it was
Oh, you
an
met her? Oh,
it
good.
was an extraordinary situation to actually meet her. And I was like, you know how you get awestruck? I was a little starstruck by this. And she's saying to me right now, because if you call her in, she comes in. Like, we
Oh
will
my
be in the middle of
gosh.
development circles and all of that stuff. And it's just amazing.
Oh,
Um,
I miss her. Yeah.
oh my gosh. Had you, um,
You're just reminding me that, yeah, Ed and I actually flew out to the Memphis, Tennessee area and taught a class together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh
and
my
I got to meet
gosh.
Mama Ellie, and I was there for a few days with Ed, and that's an amazing experience in
Yeah.
itself, and great people out there, and
Wow.
wow, what a great experience! Just
Yeah.
everyone out there. Yeah.
Yeah. I know,
And
right?
Mama Ellie, yeah, she's very, very special. I think she channeled. That was the event, was to watch her channel. Wow. Yeah. Just
I've seen
information
videos of
from
her
out there.
channeling.
I'm sorry?
I've seen videos of her channeling.
Have you really? Oh, good.
Yeah.
I have to look for
But
them.
she came to an online development circle
She
at the
did.
beginning of COVID,
Oh,
and, I'm just trying to think of how much I wanna say about that, but that's all I'm
yeah.
gonna say. But, I was starstruck because
Oh,
she is just genuinely, like,
mhm.
love,
Yes.
love.
Yep.
And you know what? Honestly, that's why, and I think you're the same way, that's why I do this work,
Uh-huh.
because the love that comes through
Mhm.
in every reading,
Mm, mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful,
Mhm.
place to be. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
well, this was so much fun. I can't
Yeah.
believe this
Thank
hour
you.
just flew by.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, thank you so much. And what is your website is
Dot
www.mediumshow.
medium yeah, mediumcheryl.com, and if you sign up for my newsletter, first off, I have an intuitive quiz, that comes
Oh,
up right away that's free to take. So if you go to my website at
mm,
mediumcheryl.com, on the pop-up window is a free intuitive quiz to find out what intuitive strengths you have. So I invite everyone to join that. It's a free quiz, and you can find that information out. But I'll always keep everyone informed of my upcoming events or my teachings. I started an energy transformation sessions. I started that in February this month, and that's a great monthly membership that I'm kind of just turned on by it. I'm really jazzed, so to speak, because we're talking about energy and self-care with that,
mm,
especially for this year. Yeah, this year and
yeah.
next year, big years. Yeah.
What are you thinking about 2024 real quick? What's a
Well, I mean, look, we're heading into the year of the wood dragon, right? So the wood dragon Chinese New Year is February 10th. That's coming up. And
mm.
so we're leaving the rabbit year, which was my year, soft and cuddly and furry, right? And we're stepping into a wood dragon. So what I'm hearing or what I'm learning also is that the dragon is the f- is a combination of all the Chinese zodiac signs in one. So
Oh.
it's kind of like the favorite of all the zodiac signs. It's got every one of them in there. The dragon, and because it's a wood dragon, it's going to be about leadership. And wood is very solid and grounded. So it's
Mhm.
going to be about being assertive, making decisions. It's going to be very dynamic and changing year. So just for everyone watching, I mean, it's about
Yeah.
stepping into something that you want to do that's new. Bring it on. Bring on the change because you have that backing of a wood dragon energy to kind of, help you lift you up.
Oh,
I know.
that's
Pretty great.
incredible.
Mhm.
So 2024
The wood
has
dragon.
the ability to be a very forward moving year.
Yes,
Yeah.
very forward moving.
Oh,
Well
good.
said. Yeah.
Oh, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So, everybody, you can see Cheryl on her podcast with Kelly Eckhart. That is Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific,
Mhm.
10 Eastern. And she does a healing prayer circle as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
It's
Sorry.
every Sunday. Thank you, Lori. Except this Sunday, I'm going to be at the LA
Yep.
Expo, so it won't be this Sunday. But
Mhm.
usually, most Sundays at 7 p.m. I mean, at 6 p.m. Excuse me. It's about half hour, 45 minutes of healing prayer, of guided meditation, of really building the vibration of a community. And it's
Yeah.
free to join. My healing prayer circles, they're free to join. Invite your friends and family. If you can't make it, I would really encourage people to still sign up for it because I record these and I'll send them a recording in their inbox. And I love the guided meditations. I love the prayer. I love everyone supporting one another. It comes with a private Facebook page. so you can, write out your prayers, or if you're struggling or wanting to manifest something, it's good people, it's a good high vibe community.
Oh, I love that. And
Yeah.
you have been doing that for a long time.
Gosh,
So like
a
you've
long
built
time.
up this amazing
Yeah.
energy. So
Hmm.
so awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Cheryl, thanks for being here. I appreciate you.
Oh, Lauri, thank you.
Oh, so much fun. And let's see. What else do I want to say?
Well, can I say, Lauri, that I just always appreciate you, Lauri, and just how much you're helping the community as well. I mean, you are, a pioneer as well. I mean, you are on the forefront, the leading edge of, working with all of these, ways of communicating with many people, trying to reach as many people as you can,
Yeah,
and all that you do. So thank you. It's been
it's
a
about
great,
bringing the love.
great to be on your
Yeah.
show.
You know what I started doing, and actually, this is one of the things I wanted to say. So, if you go to my website and it comes up, like the little pop up screen comes up, you can sign up for what I call your morning mojo. And
Oh,
basically,
yes.
I send out emails to whoever wants them. You don't have to, right? But whoever wants them, it's just a little saying every day. It's either an affirmation or it's a quote. It's something uplifting to get your day started properly, because if we it's Wayne Dyer always says, the last 5 minutes before you fall asleep are like the most important,
Mm,
because you have to, it's where your subconscious is going to be for those 8 hours while you're sleeping, right?
mm,
So my thought is, okay, let's talk about that. But then as soon as you wake up and you tend to check, I do this all the time. I check my email first thing, and to get it your morning mojo and to see like a nice
mm.
uplifting quote there or something, I just find to be really neat. So yeah, so if you're interested in doing that, you can go to my website, laurialbert.com. So there you go.
I signed up for mine. I see Lauri in
Yay.
my inbox every
Oh,
day.
really?
I
Oh, I
know, I
didn't
love it.
know. That's so
I
cool.
love
Oh,
it, Lauri.
thank you.
Can't
Thanks for
miss it.
calling.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can see all of Cheryl's, like, Instagram is probably the best place to see where everything of Cheryl is taking
Yeah.
place, all of her live events and stuff. And yeah, so that's great. And her website. So thanks for being here, Cheryl.
What a
Much
joy.
love to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
And have a beautiful, beautiful week, everybody. And I'll see you next week. Um, Dear friend, Ed Torres will be here. He will be my guest. And thanks for being here. Namaste.
Namaste.